Greetings. Today we conclude the Judgment of Economic Babylon Part 3. We're finishing verses 20 through 24. We were looking at the four emphatic negatives. God says, in this day there will be no merriments, there will be no manufacturing, there will be no magnifying illuminators, and finally, it says there will be no marriage. And a voice of a bridegroom, certainly not. She may be heard in you anymore. Excuse me. Look to Luke chapter 17, verses 26 and 27 with me. As it was in the days of Noah, so shall it also be in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. When the judgment begins, all these things ceased, and so it will be in the coming day when God's judgment begins. Verse 23 says, but your particular merchants, they were being the magnets of the earth, because by means of the pharmaceutical of you, the nations, they were led astray. So we'll notice the cause and effect relationship here in verse 23. The nations were led astray. This is a factual statement of the effect. The cause, the merchants wanted to become magnates, the great ones. The means to their goal was the enchantments, the King James, the sorceries of the nations. The Greek word is pharmakia, and our word pharmacy is probably a transliteration which refers to the use of drugs, medicine, poisons, and magic. The resulting blood guiltiness is dealt with here in verse 24. And in her, the great city Babylon, blood of prophets and of saints, that is, sanctified ones, it was found, and the blood of all the ones having been slaughtered and remaining so upon the earth. In the book of Acts chapter 19, verses 24 through 28, Demetrius and the silversmiths called an unlawful assembly to determine what to do about Paul and his gospel preaching, which was causing slumping sales of their silver shrines to their goddess Diana. It says, for a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, which made silver shrines for Diana, brought no small gain unto the craftsmen, whom he called together with the workmen of like occupation and said, sirs, you know that by this craft we have our wealth. Moreover, you see and hear that not alone at Ephesus, but almost throughout all Asia, this Paul hath persuaded and turned away much people, saying that they be no gods, which are made with hands, so that not only our craft is in danger to be set at naught, but also that the temple of the great goddess Diana should be despised, and her magnificence should be destroyed, whom all Asia and the world worshipeth. And when they heard these things, they were full of wrath, and cried out, saying, great is Diana of the Ephesians. Now, of course, God did not allow Paul to be martyred here and at this time for the gospel preaching, but many have been slain because of the preaching of the gospel has undermined the profitability of idolatry. God will adjudge the blood guiltiness of these offenders. And I'll close with one contemporary example. We're in the midst of a greater drug problem in America and the world, and that is the lacing of street drugs with fentanyl. The average drug dealer on the street today attempts to justify his method of profit making by saying that he's not hurting anyone. Everyone who uses the drugs which he sells chooses to do so. Such an attitude attempts to divorce the action from the consequence. Once the dealer creates an addict who will do almost anything to support his habit, he believes he bears no culpability. Really? When the addict lies and cheats and steals and even kills to support his habit, God, who sees and knows all, will not hold such a one as not guilty. Maybe in this life, as predicted in this text, or maybe it's simply in the coming judgment after this life is finished, God will judge and punish, quote, every evil work. Habakkuk 2:15 says, Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou may lookest upon their nakedness. As Paul wrote to Timothy, there are so many who fall into the trap of loving money and are led away into error and do anything in order to be rich, to fulfill their desire to be rich, and have no consequence or feeling of consequence toward what happens to those from whom they derive their profit.